Hi everybody! How are you doing tonight? Alright, let me get us logged in. Alright. Okay, we're logging in. How are you guys doing? I hope you don't mind me shoving a little more of my dinner in my mouth while we log in. We're 16 in queue, so we're just gonna hang for a bit. Hopefully everybody else is eating and hydrating properly. All right, we're in. So, it is side quest time. Let's see here. Actually, let me turn the volume up just a smidge. I thought it was a little low last night, too. All right. Yagina requires assistance at the Great Work. Aren't you the adventurer that saved Matsuya? Excellent timing. If you have time to spare, I would ask a favor of you. You see, the dancers of Radzat Han are planning a performance to raise the people's spirits. We alchemists would like to support them with some of the finest accessories we can craft. Unfortunately, none of us have time to procure the crystals we need to finish them. It would be a great help if you could fetch the crystals from the merchant at the port at Yedlamad. Of course, we will provide you with the necessary funds. Alright, sure, as long as those necessary funds include my payment. Many thanks. The merchant is already aware of the situation and should be expecting someone to come by. I'll leave the selection of stones up to your no doubt impeccable judgment. You look pretty strong. Do you think you could help me? I need someone to guard me while I gather agni grass for my medicines. Its scent is difficult to follow even for we Archisodra. I can't concentrate and watch my back at the same time. Please, I'm afraid some beast will strike me while my guard is down. Alright. I'm in your debt. I'll sniff out some agni grass, so follow me. Yeah, right behind you. Right after I finish getting every single side quest in this entire area. Muscular scientist. Almost said, oh my god. Okay. Muscular alchemist. Oh my. The muscular alchemist needs help finding ingredients for paint. You there. Adventurer, I find myself in need of assistance. You will help me, won't you? I guess. Maybe. You see, I received an order for custom paints, but the necessary ingredients are rather rare. The amra in particular is difficult to come by, as it must be taken from a Vajralangula. And not just any old fruit will do. Only one held by the strongest, most virile male specimen will suffice. I know of a sure way to attract a suitable Vajralangula. Vajralangula. Okay. If I say it enough, hopefully I'll be able to say it right. Or as much as I can manage. But I'm afraid defeating the beast is beyond me. If only a strong, brave, kind adventurer would protect poor little me. I expect a handsome reward. I feel safer already. Come now. I will lead you to where the Vajralangula gather. We head southeast. Yep. Right behind you. Also, I realized I probably could have gone this way on Sunday to get to that quest with the lamp instead of leaving the town and going all the way around. Well, oh, right. Also, those other 2 quests are in here. I'm stupid. All right, let's try that again. We want to go around here, in here. There we go. Yes. All right. Damn, who could have done this? It wasn't you, was it? No, it couldn't have been. Besides, an upstanding adventurer like yourself wouldn't be so cruel as to steal my wares. You wouldn't be willing to lend a hand in getting them back, would you? I guess, if you pay me enough. Oh, thank you, thank you. He looked to be male, about this tall and dressed in all black alchemist garb. That's all I can tell you. I didn't get a good look at him before he ran off toward Akyali. I can't trust anyone here. Who knows how many accomplices he has lurking about. But you're not from here, so you're in the clear. I know I can trust you to track down that thieving lowlife. Hello there, adventurer. Can you help me? I need someone to go around and see if anyone is wanting for supplies. Why can't you do it yourself? I would do it myself, but we alchemists are all so busy that no one wants to bother each other with selfish requests. But if an outsider like you asks, they just might open up a bit. Please, I need to start restocking, but at this rate, I'll never know what needs replenishing. I would really appreciate your help. Thank you. I should mention that it might be a bit difficult to get some of the workers' attention. Everyone is exhausted, so make sure to greet them to get them out of their heads. Alrighty. Why am I running with my feet? River, you do the running for me. Wow, she's really ignoring me. All right. Apologies, I was malms away. Is there something I can do for you? Yeah, what do you want? Now that you mention it, I'm running low on serpent's root. It has all sorts of medicinal uses, so I feel I can never have enough. I still have some stock left, but you never know what might come up. It certainly couldn't hurt to have some extra. Yeah, not that I think anything bad is about to happen, but it might not hurt for you to have some extra medicinal stuff laying around. Not for any particular reason, of course, but you know. Hello? Oh, what's the matter with me? Nearly fell asleep. Sorry about that. Did you need to speak with me? Yeah, do you need anything? Let me think. There are no alchemical components I need at the moment, but I could stand to have some non-perishables on hand. I end up skipping meals because I'm too busy with work, so something nutritionally dense that I can eat one-handed while I work would be a lifesaver. If there's food stuff like that, I'll take as much as I can get. Again, not that I think anything bad is gonna happen, but like, it may be a wise idea to make sure that you are stocked up on non-perishables. My tea is nearly done, which means I can... Yo! Oh, terribly sorry. It wasn't my intention to ignore you. Can I help you? Yeah. What do you want? Do you need anything? Well, since you ask, I am ever wanting for more tea and milk. A nice cup of chai is just what my body and mind need to unwind after a few sleepless nights of work. It isn't something I can readily ask for, seeing as it isn't strictly a necessary medicinal ingredient. I know that seeing to your own well-being is essential to producing quality work, but I just can't bring myself to be so selfish. Oh! Jalamook is concerned about a colleague. Oh, okay. Do you have a moment, adventurer? One of my colleagues has gone missing. She said she was going to Kajaya's footsteps to get a bit of exercise, but she hasn't come back. I'd go search for her, but it's almost time for a shift change, and I can't very well leave the kiln to operate itself. Could you find her and fetch her for me? I can do that. You're too kind. She should be in Kajia's footsteps. Keep an eye out for a hero with black hair. I'm sure she'll be happy to see you. She was out the last time you were by, and she was devastated that she missed out on the chance to meet the adventurer aiding the students of Beldezian. What do you mean the last time I was here? I haven't left yet. Oh, no! How do I get back up? Over here. Got it. Yeah, there's no easy way back on shore other than over here at the beach. Very cool. Alright. River, get back out here. We're gonna... I'll turn in all the quests at once. It's fine. Where do I wanna... no? Yes? Maybe? Yes. Okay. The honest alchemist needs help. You've come by at a perfect time, adventurer. Could you help me find someone? One of my colleagues went to receive a delivery and hasn't come back. I'm worried something might have happened. You guys go missing really often, don't you? This is like the third, hey, my friend is missing quest I've gotten, I think. Oh, thank you. He went to Yedlimad. So let's start by looking around the ether right there. Right. First things first. Sniff, sniff. Sniffle. Snuffle? Snuffle. There. It's faint, but I can smell the grass from that way. Let's go. This feels way too doofy. River, get back out here. Oh, right. I can summon my chocobo while running now. I'm gonna grab this quest first. But no, seriously, why do these guys keep disappearing? Why do they keep losing their colleagues? I don't understand. Ah! No! Leave me alone! Go away! Okay. Oh, there she is. Hi, your friend sent me to find you. What do you mean I need to go or get back to work? Oh, have I really been out that long? I should really go. But I was hoping to get a better look at the stage before I left. I'm sure you're busy, but could you assist me for a moment? Thank you. I'll inspect the walls, so could you make sure the stage is in order? Sure. Let me just... There we go. Alright, let's see here. The cloth wavers exquisitely in the wind. No problems here. There is a small hole in the floor. That can't be good. Some of the paint is worn off. It could use a fresh coat. Alright. Wow. Any problems? The floor and the paint. I'll have to fix them the next time I come by. Thank you for checking. You know, it seems odd that I've never met you until now. You wouldn't happen to be the adventurer sent by the students of Baldesion, would you? Yaha, that me. You are? And here I was delegating you to menial tasks. If I had known, I probably still would have delegated those menial tasks to me. It's okay, I'm used to it. I've always admired travelers like you. You see, I was studying to be a dancer under Mistress Nashmira at one time. I wanted to see the realm as I traveled for performances. And maybe I still can. Not as a dancer, of course, but as an alchemist. Oh, but we should hurry back to the great work. I don't want to cause any more trouble than I already have. Yeah, Mistress Nashmira, that person I totally definitely know on this character. At some point, I'll get Dragoon and Astrologian to 80, like I promised you guys, and then we can pick another job for me to level up. I'll make that a sub goal. Oh, speaking of sub goals, if you guys aren't already in the Discord and you want to be involved with deciding what I have to do if I'm at 100 subs at the end of this month, you should join the Discord and go vote. I just put up the poll now. If you're already in the Discord, go vote. It'll be fun. I'm excited for Sunday. We're going to do our Synth Rider stream. I've never actually used multiplayer, so I was looking stuff up last night. Because I was worried. I think because of Final Fantasy XIV, I'd somehow tricked myself into thinking that multiplayer rooms in Synth Riders were 4 people. No, it's you and 9 other people. So we should have room for lots of people to be involved. I've seen you waiting long enough. Or I've kept you waiting long enough. Let's get to it, shall we? Take this perfume and douse my frail, meager body in it. I must be as a flower dripping with sweet nectar. Quickly now, slather it on, else I won't catch the attention of even the weakest Vajralangula. I'll get it eventually. Maybe. Boy, this feels familiar. At least this guy is young and attractive and not Godbert. Perfect. I'm positively irresistible. I mean, you were that already, buddy. Now, I'll use my wiles and enticing scent to lure Vajralangula to this way. You wait here and prepare to strike him down. Okay. He doesn't have anything new and interesting to say. Nice moves, bud. Oh, right. I wanted to do these on... Shit, I'm on the wrong job. Side quests are supposed to be done. Summon. No! Oh, yeah. I fixed my hotbars, by the way, guys. I just fucked that up. I don't know how I missed one of my AoE skills when I was setting things up on Sunday, but like when I was putting everything together, I realized, wait a minute, I do have more than one AoE. How did I miss that? So yeah, if you guys were sitting there like, Shizune, what are you doing? Why are you being dumb? I also think I'm dumb. It's okay. Such valiance. I could hardly tear my eyes away as you heroically slayed the beast. Now, the fruit, if you please. A particularly big and juicy Amra at peak ripeness. Oh, yes, perfectly succulently ripe. This will make a fine paint. Our work here is done. Let us return to the great work before another Vajralangula sets its eyes or its sights on me. And then we go over here. This is it. Agni grass. I'll grab a few bundles. You keep watch. I'd hate to get eaten so close to my goal. Let me just real quick before I forget. There we go. Nothing? Stand guard while I gather up this grass. Yep. And then over here. Oh! There we go. Okay. Thank you for watching over me. I got all sorts of ingredients, even more than I hoped for. All thanks to you. If you weren't here, I would have been too scared to... What was that? Perhaps we should continue our talks back at the great work. Alright. Bye. I'll see you there. A suspicious alchemist, alright. That fool left herself wide open to get robbed. She didn't even notice me following her from the port. And all I have to do is sell off this fancy metal and I'll never have to work another day in my life. Or for a few weeks at least. What are you looking at, huh? Scram! You think you're some kind of defender of justice? Hey. Stealing's illegal. There we go. Oh, there's another one of you. That's nice. And I will be taking that back. And then I'm gonna be lazy. I've been asking around about my colleague, and someone claims to have seen him getting out from port in a small boat. Maybe he loaded the shipment onto it and headed back. In which case, we must have missed him, or just missed him. I hope that's all that happened. Well, let's head back to the Great Work. We should keep an eye on the shoreline on our way back, just in case. Hey, Zev! How has your day been? Welcome! What can I help you with? Heavy and full. This pouch is ready to be exchanged for precious crystals. Buying crystals for the alchemists? Yes, I did hear from them about that. Have you decided what you want to wish upon the crystals? What? Haven't you heard? Here in Radzat Han, crystals are given along with a wish. There's no need to think on it too deeply. Simply envision the wish you would entrust the dancers with, granting it to their spectators. Once I know that, I can pick out the perfect stone for the occasion. Ooh. Inner peace, prosperity and wealth, protection from evil. Well, this character did start adventuring for fame and fortune, so prosperity and wealth. For wealth, I suggest yellow sapphires. The lucid gold glimmer was once believed to invite fortune and secure riches. I will provide you with as many as I can within your budget. Be sure they make it safely back to the alchemists at the Great Work. Take care in delivering the crystals to the alchemists who sent you. Absurdly chill. Ooh. Also, I promise I'll get more talkative in a bit. I just did not have a chance to eat dinner before stream started. So I'm kind of using these moments where I have to run and not read quest dialogue to shove food in my mouth. Uh-oh. Oh no, his boat must have capsized. I loaded everything on the boat to bring back, but something hit us and I managed to swim to safety, but the cargo... I'm so sorry. Forget the cargo. All that matters is you're all right. We'll just have to do without the sunken goods. I can breathe underwater. Looks like the perfect opportunity to practice my water breathing technique. What? You can do that? Yeah-huh. I'm a woman of many talents. Thank you. There were 5 articles in all. Some of them sunk, but some float. I'm sorry to leave all of this to you, but I need to get him home before his condition worsens. Well... Saya, Luca, I need you guys to get along, please. Buddy. Hang on. How about instead of chasing your sister, you eat? Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Hang on, let me check on your stuff. Hi, how are you doing? You okay? Your brother wasn't harassing you too badly, was he? Alright. I'm sorry to leave this all to you, but I need to get him home before his condition worsens. We'll head back to the Great Work first. So, Luca! No! So come meet us when you're done. Luca, leave her alone. I love my cats so much, but they can be frustrating sometimes. Oh no! Okay, so my dinner is a BLT that I added a fried egg to. And like yolk got on my plate and now it's on the bun and now everything's gonna be like Luca! Hang on. Stop. Anyway. At the risk of it getting clipped and taken out of context, now everything's wet and sticky. And soggy. That's a shadow. You know what? I'm gonna go for this one first. And then we'll go after the shadow. Oh, I lied. There's another one. Yeah, sure. I'll swim with the flying mount. There we go. That's 3. I'm not seeing any more that are terribly obvious down here. Ouch! How has your day been? You were setting up your Oculus, right? How did that go? Alright, is that the last one? Yes. I just realized I never changed my home point to the Great Work. Whoops. Ah. Fair. Ah, there you are. With some precious stones for me, I assume. Yep. It wasn't a disappointed These are perfect. Thank you for your help. Do you mind if I ask what you wished upon them? Fame and fortune and riches and stuff. Prosperity and wealth. Or prosperity and wealth. That would certainly solve a lot of these folks' problems. To have enough to live a comfortable life. Content with what you have is valuable indeed. In Thavnair, they believe crystals have the power to grant wishes and heal sickness. It may sound like superstitious nonsense, but crystals are curious things. Part of them exists somewhere between the living and the material. As such, elemental energies can reside within them quite readily. They can influence your mind and spirit using the ether within you, which is precisely why the wish you imbue them with is so important. If the wish is impure, then so shall be the crystal's effects on their user. I can tell I made the right decision in asking you for your help. Please, take this as thanks. It wasn't a disappointed it was a, of course Shia kidnapped you away from what you were doing I'm gonna eat my sandwich now while we run. Dude, adding a fried egg to a BLT is such a game changer. I had to refill my water. Okay. I got your stuff back. How did it go? It went sheet metal from Naldik and Vilmelis. Oh, that's a familiar name. My sheet metal! You got it back! Nothing's stopping me from fixing up that busted old furnace now. So what can you tell me about the culprit? He was gonna sell it. He had a friend. One of the Ellison folk? Rare to see them around these parts. He must have traveled here from somewhere else. All sorts of people come to Razathan. Not all of them respectable. The freedom of the city calls people from all lands and walks of life. He must have been aboard the same vessel as me, seeing as he knew I was transporting valuables and held me from the port. I'll need to be more careful of my surroundings from now on. If only everyone were as trustworthy as you. I mean, you kind of just asked for my help, even though you barely knew me. I could have run off with your metal too, you know. In any case, I'm almost glad this was a clear-cut robbery. If it had been one of my comrades that stole from me, I don't want to, or I won't dwell on it. Here, take this as thanks for hunting down the thief and returning my goods. You're back! What did you ask, or what did everyone ask for? Tea, non-perishable food, oh, there was something else. I made a joke about how, oh, right, medicinal ingredients. I had a hunch you'd be able to get more out of them than me. None of these requests are particularly unexpected, but the only non-perishable food I think we can get is pickles, and it doesn't sound quite like what he wanted. I do want to make sure everyone is eating properly. I know they will all rely on their medicine to get them or by when they're too busy to eat. I wonder. I'll ask a friend of mine from Charlian if there's anything to be done. Anyway, that's a problem for me to think about, not you. Thank you for your help. And then Archon bread took off in popularity at the Great Work, and among all of the alchemists of Razathan. I'm kind of surprised considering how closely the Charlians and the Thavnairians work together that wasn't a thing already. Okay, but hear me out. What if the Archon loaf had pickles on it? Some kind of spread, maybe a little meat. I wonder if the issue with Archon loaf isn't... I mean, I know part of it's the ingredients, but also I wonder if part of it isn't just the fact that they're eating straight up Archon loaf and not putting anything on it. I mean, I know you can technically raw dog any kind of good bread, but maybe don't. You hate pickles? Oh, Ash. Oh, Ash. I may have to rethink some things. All pickles? I mean, more for me, I guess. I like pickles. Dill pickles, especially, ooh, fresh dill pickles or pickles from like, if you go to like a proper Jewish deli, those pickles are incredible. Bread and butter pickles, just like pickled things in general can be pretty good, IMO. Oh. That's not the pickles' fault. Whew, we made it back in one piece. I really can't thank you enough. With your brawn and my nose, I got enough Agni grass to solve a whole army's digestive issues. Having olfactory senses 5 times as strong as your average Midlanders comes in handy sometimes. This place can be a bit much, though. So many smells mingling and clashing, and all of them so strong. Anyway, thank you again, kind adventurer. Please take this. Something I'd love to do if I had, like, the space and resources for it would be to grow my own cucumbers and then make my own pickles. That sounds amazing. That being said, that poor guy could not survive straight on pickles. So I'm glad his friend is looking for a different solution. Ah, there you are, even if that solution might end up being Archon Loaf. I heard you helped my colleague with her stage inspiration while you were out. It's greatly appreciated. Or inspection. Stage inspection. Oh my god, I can read. She really looks up to your kind, you know. She lost her chance to become a dancer due to an unfortunate injury. Now she's working to heal the sick and injured as an alchemist. She was so happy to meet you, as am I. Here, a token of our thanks. Is it a texture thing, or, like, if you tried a pickle that wasn't a dill pickle, do you think you might actually enjoy it? Potentially. You made it back. If you're worried about my colleague, he's fine. Just resting after clearing out the water in his lungs. I gave him some chai and he went right to sleep. You hate the smell? You managed to retrieve all the lost cargo? Incredible! These are valuable weapons imported from Vilbrand. They must be or they just need a few alchemic finishing touches before they're complete. From here, they'll head off to the hands of the Radzat Han warriors to help protect the Order. Thank you for everything, adventurer. Huh. See, I'm wondering if... Because with something like that, I wonder, like... Is it just the jarred shit from the grocery store? Or, like, if you... I don't know. There's a whole world to pickles. So I'm just like, maybe you've just encountered only the bad ones, or ones that, like, you wouldn't want to eat. That's fair. I mean, your issue may also just be specifically with dill pickles. I personally like dill pickles, but I also really like bread and butter pickles that aren't, you know, the kind of pickles people usually imagine. They're much sweeter. Have you ever had a hot dog with relish on it? Specifically sweet relish? Many thanks for your assistance, adventurer. I never imagined I could procure such a fine component for my paint. Say, do you know why the Vajralangula carry this fruit? They present them to their desired mates, hence the scented oils. Pheromones, you see. The Amra is also the official fruit of Thavnair. You can eat it or use it as painting material, as I shall, of course, but it is also said to ward off evil and secure strong family lineage. But there's more to this fruit than mere superstition. It has sufficient antibacterial properties to be used as a household remedy to keep any family well. Oh, but listen to me rambling on and on. Allow me to thank you once more. I hope our paths will cross again. He made me rub pheromones on him? Man, he's lucky he's hot. It's bad enough that the Mandervilles make me rub oil on them. Okay, who's ready for more MSQ? But yeah, Ash, if you ever come to Chicago, I will make you try at least a little dollop of sweet relish. Little does Nidana know that she is about to send you on another errand. Oh. Okay, fine. Ash, when you come to Chicago, I will make you try at least a little dollop on the finger of sweet relish. I just don't like assuming. If you'll excuse me, I shall return to my work on the talisman. Ah, we're both back. Excellent. Russia! I have a message for you, Mistress Nidana. It would seem the stores of Giant Skull are running low. What? But when last I looked, there was still plenty. I suspect that was before Urianger told everyone about their tempering cure, and Asinian shared his knowledge of dragons. Your peers have since been inspired to fashion a number of new talisman prototypes. I see. Well, if it leads to new possibilities, then far be it from me to complain. But we will need to replenish our stores. I should be happy to tend to this, I should be happy to tend to this if you like. As much as I appreciate the offer, my dear boy, I can't in good conscience send you out there alone while kidnappers are at large. Shizune, loath though I am to press another task on you so soon, might I ask you to fetch the Giant Skull? In case you're not familiar, oh, I'm familiar. Giant Skull is a type of ore found on the island, owing to its hardness and ethereal conductivity. It has applications in many disciplines, alchemy not least of all. Also level 50 weapons, really ugly ones. The quarry where it is found, aptly named Giant Skull Grounds, isn't far away, so it shouldn't take much of your time. May we impose on you once more? Thank you. Upon arriving at the grounds, please seek out a man named Zenuha. He will furnish you with the ore. At the very least, permit me to accompany you. It so happens I have an errand of my own that will take me to the outpost nearby. May we borrow a pair of Hamsa, Mistress Nirana? By all means, do try to be patient with them. Those that survived are still in training. Survived? I will bring the Hamsa to the entrance. Meet me there when you are ready. But yeah. Going to Thavnair was really cool as somebody who's played since A Realm Reborn because we've been hearing about it since ARR, including... Let's see here. I'm pretty sure I have the recipes for them. Yep, there we go. Look at these things. Look at these. Maybe, let me put some clothes on first. There we go. Much better. Now look at these. That one's okay. The bard weapon is eh. But yeah. So, like, these are all level 50 weapons. So, like, we've even known about Giant Skull since A Realm Reborn. And all the alchemical things that we use for relics were also from Thavnair. And that's why I keep joking about Noxia being the next Thavnair, where, like, I hope they don't make us wait 10 years of it just existing in the lore and in item names and minion names before we finally get to go to Noxia properly. Here are Hamsa, Shizune. If the creatures look familiar, it is because they are close kin to your Eorzean dodos. Right down to the complete lack of any thought behind those eyes. Welcome. What do you mean Okay, first of all, hi, Core. And second of all, what do you mean VTuber sushi? Humza have long been kept as livestock in Thavnair, and many a hatchery may be found here. Alas, the largest of these was recently raised by monsters from the tower. On account of said hatchery being situated near the tower, the Radiant Host proposed or repurposed its remnants as an outpost. That is where my errand takes me, and your own destination is but a stone's throw away. If you have no objections, let us first make for the outpost. We set forth at your word. Oh, interesting. You are ready? Then let us depart. You need only ride and relax. My bird and I will take the lead, and for yours to follow. Let us be off. If you haven't ridden dodos before, be warned that they have a wobbling gait. Joy. Good thing Shizune has a strong stomach. That spectacular formation stretching out over the water is called... too fast! Is called Kaja, a word which means sword. The sword legend... legend holds, was wielded by the Mansuya against the Murga before it was cast down at Conflict's End. To the left, and requiring no introduction, is the tower. As you can see, it straddles a small isle. It does look ridiculous. How much worse does this look if you're a Rugadin or a Highlander or a Hrothgar? Almost there. Though the main part of the hatchery is atop the cliff, the outpost itself is on the beach. Oh, maybe I don't want to angle it that way. I'm still on... Shit, hang on. I'm on the wrong job. Riding on the back of a giant bird. I mean, I know they're relatively big compared to the kinds of birds we're used to, but I wouldn't call these giant in the context of Final Fantasy XIV mounts. And here we are, manned by the Radiant Host. This outpost is our first line of defense against the tower. Well, well, who should it be but young Varshan? On an errand for the satrap? I am. His Excellency bade me come to collect your report. He also wished to express his heartfelt gratitude to the brave men and women of the Radiant Host for their unflagging dedication. We simply do our duty, but we are honored to receive His Excellency's regard. And yet, for his boundless benevolence, his treatment of one so young could be regarded as callous. Though we have enjoyed relative peace and calm these past few days, this remains the front line of battle. No place for children. Your predecessor too often traveled alone. It's been, what, 2 years now since you took over? I wonder how the fellow is faring. Like those before him, he went on to represent the satrap in foreign lands. Wherever he may now be, I am certain he is well. As for myself, I assure you that all I do of my own volition, and gladly. I pray you do not think ill of His Excellency. Certainly not, lad. Whatever happens, my faith in the satrap is unwavering. But still, I worry for you. We would be overcome with sadness if something were to befall you, for you are as a little brother to us all. Take care, do you hear? I will, Nabdim. Thank you. And who might this be? Not Hanish by the look of her. Permit me to introduce Shizune Dazkar, of the Eorzean contingent, come to assist in the making of the talisman. From Eorzea, you say? Towers have appeared over there too, yes? Tell me, what is the situation like? Absolute chaos. May I suggest that you exchange information with our soldiers? Both parties would stand to learn something of value, I believe. Sure. An excellent idea. Given the unprecedented nature of the threat, some of ours are understandably anxious. We would be glad to for any tidings you can share. You two, bring Varshan the latest report and answer any questions he may have. Hey, we finished before the ad started. Huzzah! Now, I can switch back to where we should be. All appears quiet with the tower at the moment. I dare say the soldiers won't mind if you approach them. Okay, but I'm gonna wait until after the ad for that, because I don't trust it to not cut things off. I'm gonna finish my sandwich now. Yep, that's what I thought. I should probably also use this time to refill my water pitcher. I will be right back, guys. All right, we're back. Now, let's talk to some Radiant host dudes. It occurs to me I have yet to properly introduce our company. We are the Radiant Host, a military order under the Satrap's command. Our duty is to preserve peace in the land, be it patrolling the streets or dealing with heretofore unknown threats such as now. We train hard and admit only only capable warriors to our ranks. Even so, we've struggled to contend with the fiends from the tower. Though we succeeded in striking them down on the 2 occasions they came in force, we had to pay a heavy price. What of the towers in Eorzea? Do they likewise spawn monsters? Kinda. So it's much the same everywhere. With every nation struggling, we cannot expect calls for outside aid to be answered. I mean, I'm here. I'm outside aid. You wish to know about the tower? To be honest, we know little and less about it ourselves. This Tower of Zot, as folk have taken to calling it, suddenly appeared where it did on the island of Narunair. We're safe from its influence at this distance, but go too far into the water, and you'll expose yourself to its corrupting ether. You're a foreigner, aren't you? How are they dealing with the tower in your homeland? Our struggles are not unique. Then our hopes still lie with the talismans. We must keep the monsters contained until they are ready. I've heard about you. The visitor from Eorzea. Is there anything you can tell us about the Telepharoi? We know that they're the ones behind the tower, that they've declared war on the whole world. But why are they doing this? What is it they want? Or that they want? This we don't understand. What? They want to die and take everyone with them? What madness is this? Well, you can bet that we won't let those bastards have their way. We'll fight them with everything we have, like our Eorzean and Far Eastern brothers. Finished speaking with the soldiers, have you? I hope it was as enlightening for you as it was for them. As a neutral nation and the trading hub both, Radzat Han ordinarily receives a steady stream of news from abroad. Alas, this stream dried up when the trading vessels stopped coming. Amidst the dearth of information, everyone will have been grateful for your account. But come, you had best see to your original errand. As mine will keep me here a while longer, however, I'm afraid I cannot guide you to the rest of the way. Worry not, the path is straightforward. You need but follow the road east. Upon the Hamza, you will arrive before you know it. Brief though it was, I enjoyed our time together. Till we meet again. Okay, bye. Though the Hamza appears to want to return home, it reluctantly offers you its back. Aw, buddy! Should you become separated from the seed, speak with the Radiant Peacekeeper at the Hamza hatchery to mount it again. It's okay, I could just walk. Why do I have to make the poor guy carry me? I still have to manually control the thing. Just let me use my chocobo. That's a hunt that we are going to stay very far away from. Oh, look at him running and flapping his little wings. That can't be comfortable to sit on. And have the wings just bouncing around under your butt. I'm free! I mean, he's free. No sooner do you arrive at your destination than the Hamsa dashes off. I never saved the great work as my return point. Whoops. Well, he's trying his best. I know! But he could have tried his even bester if I had just let it go home and used my chocobo. Aye, this is indeed the Giant Skull grounds, and I am Zenuha. Is there something you require? Yeah, Nidana sent me. Giant Skull for the alchemists, you say? But of course they shall have it. They labor tirelessly to deal with the tower, and 'tis the least we can do to provide them with the materials they need. Why did so many side quests spawn all the way back down there? I guess I'll let MSQ take me back to the great work. Zenuha has a sack of Giant Skull for you. Here you are, a sack of the purest Giant Skull. We always set some aside for our alchemist friends. When you deliver it, let the good folk of the great work know that we're grateful for their efforts. If they need more, they need but ask. Why couldn't the explosion of quests happen where the quest I had to pick up was? Also, set home point. There we go. Much better. Now, what's all this about? The Arcasodra youth seems to be trying to catch your attention. Well, you've got it. Are you an adventurer, perchance? If you're looking for work, I could use some help sorting out what's left of the hatchery. You'll come then? Good. It's just a little ways north of here. Oh, Ham, where could she be? Please, you must help me. She's gone. My darling Ham has wandered off. Ham is the name of my Hamsa. You're not familiar with the word? I am. I just did an MSQ about them. It's a species of cloudkin closely related to the Eorzean dodo. They're not exactly swift on their feet, so you'd expect she'd be easy to catch. And yet I can't seem to find her anywhere. What if she falls into the sea? What if some roaming predator tries to make a meal of her? You can't bear the thought, or I can't bear the thought of it. I'll keep scouring the immediate area, but I'd be most grateful if you could search the wilds to the north of here. Oh, my poor Ham. Actually, if it's a if I say Hamsa instead of Hamsa, would it actually be Ham? Oh, somebody's annoyed. Are you just going to stand there and watch me work? I'm really quite busy, you know. But you have a nice face. Here, make yourself useful and distribute this coding agent amongst the warriors at the Giant Skull grounds. Okay. And then the last quest is up here. I say perchance all the time. What are you talking about, Core? Kusuma seems hesitant to address you. Excuse me, explorer. Mercenary. Adventuring person. Normally, I wouldn't dream of bothering you, but this hardly seems the time to overburden the valiant soldiers of the Radiant Host. I just need a simple ingredient to further my current research. The complicated part is harvesting said ingredient without being murdered by the local wildlife. Would you be so kind as to venture into the hills and fetch me some bark shavings from the trees which grow here? Or grow there? Here, I'll lend you my special bark stripping knife. I mean, I figured it was a meme, but I still say perchance all the time. All right. Let's do this quest before we finish the MSQ that we're on right now. Oh, it'd help if I went back to Summoner for side quests. Yeah. It is kind of nice playing Dawn Trail without... Not Dawn Trail, Endwalker without the, like, 6 to 12 hour queue times. Ever since I finished it, I had always wanted to replay it with, like, when I finished it when it first came out, I did want to replay it to see if my experience with it would be different without the queue time sort of messing with my perception of the pacing. Although there's still stuff that, like, even without that, I know I'm still going to take issue with. Because it had to do with, like, not my perception of time, but just, like, the order certain things happened in, and... Yeah, well, it wasn't even that. It was, like... Because part of the problem was I would try to take advantage of the fact that I was working from home at the time, like working remote. So I'd be like, okay, it's my lunch break. I'll start logging in. But then there was one time where, or there was at least one time, I should say, where I was like, I'm being smart. I'll log in during my lunch break. And then I got back, or like I got to my computer after my lunch break and I had been logged, like I was just on the login screen. And I'm pretty sure what happened is, I know there were people who got booted from the queue, but I think I made it through the queue and then sat there for 30 minutes because I was working and then got booted. So yeah, there's and like the stressful for streamers part is why even with Dawn Trail, and I'll still do this with like any expansion, honestly, because Endwalker was especially bad, but logging in during expansions has always been rough. During an expansion early access for 14. So, I, like, when Dawn Trail came out, I took 2 weeks off from streaming. Because, A, I wanted to be able to enjoy the expansion on my main. B, I didn't want to have to spend an unknown amount of time in queue logging into an alt for streams. So, I just took time off from streaming. I'll probably either do that with whatever, like, whenever 8.0 comes out, or at the very least, like, I'll probably stream a different game instead of Final Fantasy XIV when the expansion comes out. And then once queue times have calmed down and once I've beaten the expansion on my main, then I'll play it on my alt. Cause, yeah. You spot the Hamsa tracks. They appear to be headed westwards. Aw, poor Ham. You're going back to your home, aren't you? A number of feathers litter the ground here. Whatever shed them may still be close by. Hopefully they're okay. Oh, maybe I'm wrong about where they are. Ah. Hum appears to be unhurt and wholly unfazed by her little adventure. Return the wayward Hamsa to Rinsarud. Yeah, well, I don't think a whole lot phases her, to be honest, given those eyes and the emptiness behind them. Yeah, I just, like, I'm already replaying the game when a lot of this stuff is old content. As long as I'm caught up on my main, I don't mind things being a little bit behind on my alt. Plus, it means that, or like, when the next expansion comes out, it'll mean that I'll be able to do MSQ a couple weeks after the fact, which means everybody will have had a chance to play it themselves who wants to. So I'll be able to feed kinda ye old Final Fantasy XIV emotional vampirism and have people come along with me on the journey. Granted, it won't be a first-time reaction thing, because that's not what this playthrough is about, but look at this place. It's a shame that they did, or what they did to it. Those villains from the tower. I wish you could see could have seen the hatchery before all this happened. Until only very recently, it was busy as you please, selling meat, eggs, and poison extracts to eager merchants from across the Thavnair and beyond. You know, that was wholesome until you mentioned the poison. But lamenting the facts won't undo what's done, will it? Let's get to work. Eh? Your task will be to sprinkle the nests with this pungent solution, which should keep the wildlife from making their lairs in the ruins. Most creatures wouldn't come within 10 yalms of it, but the Hamsa don't seem to mind the smell. And although we should probably clear away those old nests while we're at it, I want the birds to have a familiar sight to come back to one day. Anyway, you get on with the sprinkling, and I'll start shifting the rubble. But yeah, once I'm caught up with the game, we'll see how we ultimately decide to handle things. But right now my master plan is kind of do MSQ on my main first and then stream the patch. But I might still do things like a week later just to give me time to do things on my main first. You find a large egg in one of the nests. Even covered with the stink of the solution, it may prove too tempting for any nearby predator. It might be safest to hand the egg to the Arcasordra youth. Like, that's the thing. I'm trying to decide, do I want to do this stuff the week it releases? Even though that means I'm going to have to rush to make sure that I do MSQ on my main first, or do I want to give myself a week of wiggle room? Yeah, that's, I mean, there's the whole, like, everyone streaming it thing, but also, like, I don't mind everybody else also streaming it. It's more, do I want to, like, have to make absolutely sure that I have all of MSQ done that Tuesday during the day, rather than waiting until nighttime when maybe I can do it with my friends. Or, like, give myself a whole week to do the new content before I do it on the alt that isn't supposed to be for first-time reactions. All done? Oh, what's that you have there? You found a Hamsa egg? One of them must have found her way back here to lay it. Whether the mother can return to hatch it, however, is another story. I realize we've only just begun cleaning up here, but I think it's best I get this egg back safely to the great work. But I've still got a couple months to worry about that, because Endwalker should take me through the summer. With the pace at which I play the game. Which means September, I'm gonna have to do Subnautica, which will hopefully take me only a month, which should have me finishing it just in time for my one whole Silent Hill stream this year. And then October will roll around and we've got 2 games to stream, because that's when Digimon Time Stranger and Pokemon ZA come out. And I'm really excited for Time Stranger. Greetings, stranger. Hello. Prepared by the great work alchemist, this oil can be used to reinforce the points and edges of stone cutting tools. Here you go. You've brought our coding agent. The alchemists must be up to their necks in it if they're asking outsiders to run their errands. They usually prefer to make such deliveries in person. Are they eating? I'll wager they're not eating. Maybe I should cook a pot of something and pay them a visit. That's sweet of him. Ooh! Okay, we'll take care of that once we... Who are you, then? Here you go. Yeah, I mean, there's some games I want to play on release where I know that's going to be an issue. Our magic alchemy oil. If we don't coat our tools with this stuff from time to time, they won't so much as scratch the giant skull. It'd be like mining rock with a wooden spoon. The durability is what makes it worth quarrying, though, and it's a fine ethereal conductor to boot. You ever need a material like that, you know where to find us. Come to see the Master Quarriers at work, have you? Yeah-huh. Maybe I should do it by story arc. Like, maybe I should just... I'm sure 5.4 won't even be out by the time I get caught up. It might be, actually. But maybe I should just play... Or 5.0, 7.4. Maybe I should just play up to 7.3. And then wait until 6.3, or, oh my god, I can't count tonight. Maybe I should wait until 8.3 before playing 7.4 onward. And maybe that's how I should handle it. Oh, my mistake. Seems you were a hero, oh, my mistake. Seems you were here on a job of your own, and an important one at that. Without a steady supply of cooling oil, things around here would grind to a halt. Giant Skull is one of Thavnair's most sought-after resources, and we don't want to be caught low on stock when the trading ships start leaving port again. Okay. Now, it should be... Yeah, I've got time to figure that out. But yeah, depending on how I decide to go about things, I should be starting Dawn Trail in, like, sometime between December and February. We'll see. Is there a way of... There's no way of getting back to the land. Oh, wait. What am I doing? You can just hit return. I'm done with all my quests here. I was trying to figure out if there was a way to do it without going into the water, but it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, if 7.3 is coming out in August, then my guess is that 7.5 will be coming out in, like, yeah, December, January, maybe early February. So, if nothing else, I can probably judge it based off of what I experience on my main. Oh, I do hope nothing awful has befallen her. Ahamsa accepts its capture without so much as a chirp of protest, its eyes vacant and trusting. Yeah, vacant is definitely the word for it. Mom, you found her. I'm honestly surprised she made it that far north. Was she trying to return to the hatchery, I wonder? Maybe. You may have noticed some ruined buildings up there. Those are the remains of the Hamsa hatchery, a place of great cultural and historical significance. Until its recent destruction, it seemed an indelible landmark. They were able to relocate some of the breeding birds to stables within the city proper, but many, like my precious hom-homs, simply scattered across the countryside. One day, when things have settled down and the hatchery is rebuilt, I hope to return these wayward chicks to their former owner. I shall be sad to see them go. Well, we have Hamsa here, however. We can harvest their poison glands to use in various alchemical mixtures, not to mention enjoy their placid and entirely agreeable company. Here, this is for bringing Hom-Hom back safe and sound. Be sure to pay her a visit once her old home has been restored to its former glory. Yeah, that thing that's definitely going to happen. Hear me out. What if we did get Hamsa hatchery restoration? Have the prerequisite be doing all these side quests that involve the hatchery. And completion of Endwalker. Sorry to have you ruined running back and forth, but this is very important to me. While I'm grateful to the alchemists for letting me work here, my true passion was raising the birds at the hatchery. After the incident, I didn't think there was much I could do aside from tidying up the mess. As soon as you handed me that egg, though, I felt hopeful again. Where there is new life, there are new beginnings, and the Hamsa hatchery deserves to rise again. It isn't much, but please take this as in exchange for the gift you've given me. Garlemald stays ruined. No, I want Garlemald restoration too, but like, we can have more than one thing. The Hamsa hatchery starts hiring refugees from Garlemald who decided to leave. Maybe some of the ones who... I can't continue that sentence because it involves spoilers, but... Where does it say there can only be one? We have multiple restoration things, kinda, if you include, like, allied societies and stuff. It could just be, like, a one-quest thing. It doesn't even have to be a long-term thing. Hey, help us rebuild these buildings. Boom. Fixed. You again? Thank you for delivering these goods. They could even make it, like, a... kind of like the Void Quest, sort of, where it's something that you just, like, get in a patch and can do in a sitting, but, like, for crafters. You again. Thank you for delivering those goods. We have a relationship with the Quarriers, which stretches stretches back for generations, and an abiding respect for the difficulties we each face. As such, I'm glad your timely delivery prevented any undue loss of labor. One day soon, I'd like to sit down and share a drink with our stone-cutting friends. Please, take your payment and leave me to my work. As I said, I'm really quite busy. Okay, well, you can be a little more polite about it. No, you don't make the rules. Ergo... if I say there can be more than one restoration thing, there can be more than one restoration thing. Ah, you're back. Have you brought the bark and my knife? Yep. Here you go. Yes, this smells absolutely wonderful. I can already imagine the fragrance when I craft the next batch of incense. I'm studying various methods for enhancing the effects of incense, you see. Especially the scents that promote calm and tranquility, or specifically the scents that promote calm and tranquility. And with everything that's been happening, well, we could all do with a dose of calm and tranquility, couldn't we? Life can be trying at the best of times, and I'm hoping my research will help people endure the worst of them. Thank you kindly for your assistance. Oh yeah, by the way, thing that annoys me that I'm gonna point out before we continue with MSQ. I just went the wrong way. Here we go. Nope, this way. It's gonna be a smidge of a run, but it's fine. Oh, right. Hang on. How am I doing on... Let me check something. That's a little different, because, like, the part of the reason why they didn't do hats right away for Hrothgar and Viera is because their heads are a full-on different shape than other races' heads, and so they would have had to make brand new models for every single hat in the game. So they were probably prioritizing the things that would affect everybody, like the graphics update and the like adding flying to a Realm Reborn zones, because people need to remember that would have required them changing some of the visual stuff in a Realm Reborn, because a lot of that stuff used to rely on optical illusions that only worked if you didn't have to, like, if you couldn't fly. And, like, revamping a Realm Reborn and, like, all this other stuff that probably at least kind of has the same team that would be doing gear, especially on that scale. I wanted to go over here. But yeah, that's why, the only hats that Viera and Hrothgar could wear were ones that were tiny baby things that sat on top of your head, or flowers, or glasses, or, were things that replaced the whole, like, top of your head. I don't think it's a coincidence that the same patch where they're starting to add hats for Viera and Hrothgar is the same one where they're making it possible for bangs to appear on hoods. Interested in something? Don't have much... oh, right. I don't need to read your dialogue. I just need to... Oh, I still need to... No! No! I was able to do it without doing the 6 fates in Shadowbringers. Well... Garlemald and Thavnair aren't the same expansion zone. And, like, keep in mind, we got Ishgard Restoration, and then back in Heavensward, the Moogle quests were literally another restoration content. I'm not talking about us getting them both in the same patch. I'm just saying we could eventually get stuff that involves us cleaning up more of the damage from the final days. Although, honestly, like, my big issue with Garlemald in the first place, they could just give us an MSQ where they're like, oh, look at that. Skybox and Garlemald, all fixed. Because, like, my only real major issue, considering the fact, like, I don't expect to have to clean up, or, like, be able to clean up the actual overworld area, because there are parts of Garabania that are still on fire. And that was from a war that, like, or that was from battles that were already over when we first got to, Garabania. Specifically, I'm thinking about in terms of the fringes, where you just straight up have, like, Garlean ships that are on fire. My issue is more with the fact that, like, even when, say, the towers and the skybox disappear, Garlemald still has some weirdness going on. But it's something they could easily, without even, like, external help from us, just be like, oh, MSQ is taking us back to Garlemald. This quest that sends us to Garlemald triggers changing the skybox. Look at all the progress the Garleans made while we were away, guys. Which honestly might even be more meaningful because of, like, certain themes within the Garlemald storyline to begin with. I mean, but it's the same scale as, maybe even bigger, larger scale than fixing the Hamza hatchery. I'm not talking about anything large scale with it. Just fix the buildings. Let the Hamza go back. Restore this historically important area. But yeah, I'm just going over here to point out before we continue with MSQ, a thing that really irks me. Also, I'm going to remember to change to Viper. All right. Like, I get that, oh, we can't go here because... Yeah, I'm not saying a tribe. I'm just saying a side quest. You know, like I said, something on the same scale as the void quests from Shadowbringers. Okay, now here's my issue. This is supposed to be closed off, right? There's a guard stopping us. We literally can't go through here because there's an invisible wall. Why couldn't they have just closed the gate? It's not even like it's permanently open like this. It's very clearly a sliding gate. Why couldn't they have had it visually be closed off, and then when we reached a certain point in MSQ, oh, now it's open? I know that they were rushing when it came to making Endwalker because, like, they ended up having to push it back 2 weeks. But small details like this do irk me. And it wouldn't have happened if they tried to tell 2 expansions worth of story in 1 expansion. Like, I get each expansion is kind of still in a time bubble, or like each expansion zones, I should say, are largely still in a time bubble of the expansion they took place in. That's why Garabania is still on fire. That's why you still have Garlean soldier mobs in a Realm Reborn zones and beast tribes. I said time bubble, not bumble. Ah, welcome back, Shizune. Dare I hope you have the giant skull? Yep, here you go. Oh my, such fine specimens. Thank you so much for bringing these. I mean, like I was saying before, and I'm trying to be vague because I don't want to spoil things for anybody who's watching who's not caught up. I know we want Garlemald restoration, and I know people's hearts are in the right place, and I know that they just want, like, the content and stuff for the funsies, but given the story and the fact that a large chunk of it is about giving the Garleans the tools to be able to rebuild for themselves, I don't know how on theme it would be to be like, oh, actually the Warrior of Light is gonna, and like these adventurers are gonna do it for you guys. The most help they were willing to accept in the patch quests is us helping them make trade deals. A big part of Garlemald is about them regaining their self-sufficiency and not having to handle or like just live off of handouts from especially the Eorzeans given their history. But that's the thing, I don't even think they want the help. That's a huge theme of the Garlean side of Endwalker MSQ. We now have everything we need to make our next prototype. One that should be capable of passing our most rigorous tests. When it is ready, it will be time for the true tests, So please take your ease while you can. Oh, are you running after me? No? Just people bustling about. Yeah, but you actually said manipulate.
I see our taskmasters have allowed you a moment's respite as well. You have to hand it to these alchemists. They are determined to see this endeavor of theirs succeed. I've never been one for blind optimism, but I sincerely get the sense they're close to a breakthrough.
They had better be, or all this effort was for naught.
Oh, somebody with a Wumpy.
The peoples of Eorzea, of the Far East, of Thavnair, children of this star united in common cause against a dire threat. Yet ere they succumbed to suicidal madness, were not the Telophoroi born of her body as were we? They who cling to life and the promise of the morrow's dawn, against they who desire death and an ending of their own orchestration.
Also, who's this they you're talking about? Like, the only Telophoroi we've actually met is Fandaniel, and I wish that there had been more characters that were actually a part of it, instead of them just being this, like, very vague body of something.
The victors of this war alone will hold the right to answer the question of existence, of its meaning, and its worth.
I see what the problem is. Or Asinian didn't get his cookie and his juice. Oh, poor baby.
Poetic and ominous to a fault. That said, if it's an existential debate in nature, then our arguments might not be as persuasive as you'd think. Fandaniel wants to die and take everyone with him in an orgy of pain and suffering. An utterly vile and unforgivable idea. And yet, when spat upon by fate and wailing in the deepest pit of despair, who among us can say they have not entertained similar thoughts?
There
are nights black as pitch, bereft of hope, and no words of comfort can reach you. And it's all you can do to grit your teeth and choke back the bile.
Thangrad, are you okay? Do you want to talk about it?
The more you see and suffer life's injustices, the more difficult they become to bear. Vengeance is nurtured in similar soil. Though your anger has a broader focus, the sentiment is much the same. A fervent desire to destroy others, to see them drown in torment, as you have.
That about sums it up. The will to endure is not always as strong as the urge to burn it all down and salt the earth. Survival be damned. It's a struggle, often close and brutal.
Indeed. Well, I, for one, shall pray survival proveth more appealing in the end.
As will I. Besides, our chances are much improved when we've the company of others committed to the cause of life. Our vengeful dragoon here is proof of that.
Oh, him. Get back here. Also, guys, might I recommend a therapist?
What is it? What did you see? Fandaniel, are you sure? If he knows we've been working on a countermeasure.
It holds. The vessel holds! This is the one!
At long last! We have finally created a talisman strong enough to withstand our experiments. We've named it a warding scale for the time being. With this in your possession, your soul should be completely shielded from corruptive ether.
Neat!
Afforded such protection, any one of us may approach the towers without fear. Thou hast mine admiration. 'Tis an invention of historical significance.
I thank you for your kind words. But I would prefer you keep them unsaid until we test the talisman's efficacy in the field. It is for the next stage of our plan that we summoned you in the first place, to accompany me to the Tower of Zot. Should the scale prove effective, as I very much hope it will, then you'll have little to do. But should the effect be weaker than anticipated, I must ask that you restrain me, or knock me senseless.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that, because you're a giant elephant lady and I'm a tiny little lizard girl.
Either way, we are fortunate to have you with us.
Nidana, are you certain you wish to do this?
If others are to trust our creations, then we must have faith in them first. And as the senior researcher, it falls to me to lead by example. But should I fail to return, then learn what you can from this attempt and apply it to the next. Our work must continue. Is that clear?
We'll keep an eye on the place while you're away. Assuming Fandaniel is lurking about, there's no telling what mischief he has in mind for us, or you. Be on your guard.
I always am.
Shall we be on our way? I'll have one of the soldiers at the hatchery prepare us a boat, and we can set out from the northern shore. I'll see you there.
All right, let's go. Wrong mount. Let's go with this one. Oh, right. I'm so used to this stuff not being a threat to me anymore. I keep forgetting that I actually, if I don't want to get aggro from things, I actually have to be careful. Well. It's kind of ominous with this weather to see the tower coming out of the fog. I know a lot of people will be like, oh my god, fog ruins, like, story stuff. But no, in this case, I think it makes it more terrifying. Go ahead and shout that out. Actually, uh-oh. No, leave me alone. I wanted to take a pretty screenshot. Right. Let me just go ahead and whoop. Actually, let me get that boat in there too. No! It looked cool. Leave me alone. The Satrap has granted you the use of this boat. May it serve you well. This is a rather finer boat than I had expected, but I won't complain. All that remains is to board it and be on our way. Oh, and if I should become corrupted, do not stay your hand. Of course, I pray it does not come to that, but you must protect yourself. Other alchemists can fulfill my role, but you and your blessings are one of a kind, and perhaps our only hope for toppling this tower. For all our sakes, do not hesitate to do what must be done, whatever that may be. Well, the longer I draw this out, the more nervous I become. Let's be off. Yeah, let's go.
We should soon cross the threshold of the tower's influence. Any moment now.
I just hydrated. Fine.
It's working.
Posture checked. Hydration done. Stretches.
And you are still yourself? Then I'd like to see how it fares closer to the tower if we could.
Is that a good idea? Are we not pushing our luck? Oh man, the fog really does make this more terrifying. Nirhana, this feels like a bad idea.
So far, so good. The scale's protection appears to be holding. If we can just make it to the tower's entrance.
Okay, you have a good night, Ash. Thanks for dropping by. What happens if we get attacked?
A few more steps.
No.
Praise be to the sisters, we made it! And the scale has proven itself to be everything we hoped it would be.
Okay, great, but we're getting creepy music. Let's get out of here.
Now we can focus on production. Once we've equipped and returned with an entire survey team, this menace will soon give up its secrets.
Uh-huh, very interesting. Let's go. No! Give her back! Oh. Let her go!
Oh, there we go! Oh, there we...
Nope.
Oh, do calm down. You'll only hurt yourself thrashing about like that.
Stop! Oh, you can't do this! Please!
Oh, this is bad timing for an ad. Ah!
A little late for heroics, I'm afraid. The similarities are striking. My! Such hostility!
Snooze it.
Never before has my artistry so displeased. My patrons of old would have positively squealed in delight, though, between you and me, I find gushing praise exhausting.
Patrons of old.
Allow me to tell you a story. Surely you've yet to hear the one about Vandaniel, the sundered Ascian. I inherited the position and the soul of the Vandaniel who sat on the convocation in the time of the final days, theoretically speaking. Practically speaking, that fact is of no consequence. I was born and lived as, well, me. Eventually, I was recruited into the Ascians and imbued with the former Vandaniel's knowledge and memories, but I never felt that they were truly a part of who I am.
I have a theory about that.
How to explain? Perhaps if I told you who I was before my Ascian embrace, although that chapter too is a past I've long since discarded. I have it on good authority you've poked your nose into an Allegan ruin or two. Yes? Then I expect you've heard of me. The old me.
At your service.
This is a really bad time for an Echo Vision.
Imagine a nation of unbridled prosperity. Every need met, day after day of unbroken, unshakable peace. Existence fulfilled and ripe for decay.
You are a genius without peer, Amon. However do you conceive of such delightful experiments? That fool was beside himself with panic when he awoke with the head of a bull. Even his cries for help emerged as so much guttural lowing. Oh, the memory of it. My poor sides. My friends and I were so consumed by laughter we struggled to breathe.
No more than entertainment for bored wastrels ignorant of its worth. My all-consuming work. But it was not their only indulgence. For they were ever hungry for stimulation. Slaves to the slightest hint that amusement was afoot. Our nation was ailing, but I would see the poison purged. I resurrected a legend, our first and greatest emperor. And just as I had planned, he set our wayward empire back on the path of conquest. An inexhaustible ambition carried us onwards, always onwards. Yet, he who delivered to us such glory was not to be satisfied. Heed me, Amon. No matter how vast one's empire, or full one's treasure vault, all is rendered meaningless by death.
Let me snooze this ad again. Oh, goodness. Okay.
In the end, all is lost.
You know as well as I that the Emperor stands to lose this war, and so I have come to claim you. For while your methods leave something to be desired, we cannot deny the results of your work. And as fortune would have it, the seat of Vandaniel, your rightful seat, lies vacant and waiting. Take your place amongst your peers, rather than die a pointless death amidst the ashes of your doomed nation. Send one of your clones to the Crystal Tower that you might see for yourself. See what lies ahead.
And that explains the Amon that we fought in Circus Tower.
The fall of the Empire affirmed the truth. Majestic and tragic, as the Emperor foresaw. Scheme as you like, build as you will, nothing endures.
I just
What
realized
is
whose
life?
voice that was.
But a brief jaunt, ending in emptiness.
Oh, nice. He left me alone when I was in the middle of an echo vision and defenseless.
So easily distracted. Why, I almost left without saying farewell.
Oh.
As for your friend, you needn't worry. These pawns are far more useful to me alive as fuel for the primals. If you attempt to pull them free, they will die. So, enjoy tackling that conundrum with your comrades. We shall meet again. Not in one of these minor spires, oh no, but somewhere more suitably grandiose. Your favorite playmate is ever so eager to see.
Bastard! So Nadana's in trouble and I don't know how to save her. Ah, we're returned. But where's Mistress Nadana? About that. Manusia Preserve. Just when we had succeeded in making the talisman. I must report this at once. Meanwhile, please return to the great work. Yep, that was the plan. Having played Endwalker before, though, and then watching that cutscene, it's just kind of reaffirming my theory about Fandaniel and a certain someone else. Fancred, we have a problem. Something's gone awry, hasn't it? What happened? So it was Fandaniel after all. Damn that bastard. I mean, that's the thing. Nadana's in trouble, but not every moment counts, because Fandaniel, like Fandaniel said, he has no interest in killing her, so she's just kind of chilling in the tower, which buys us time to figure out how to disable it. I'm sure you wanted to do more, but you were right to return here first. We must tread warily lest we endanger Nadana and the other captives. I mean, here's the thing. He doesn't lie. I mean, he manipulates, but he told us he wanted to end the world. He was telling the truth. He told us he was a Mon, also telling the truth. You can have antagonists where, like, they're absolute bastards, but they don't lie outright. And so if they say something, you know it's the truth. And in this case, like, yeah, he wants the primals summoned. the only way they die is if we try to pull them out. Like what happened with the Amalja. He has a vested interest in keeping them alive as long as they're still under his control. Otherwise, he doesn't have people to summon primals. But yeah, anyway, I think I'm gonna use the ad to refill my water, A, and B, maybe tidy up some things. So I will see you guys in like 2.5 minutes. All right, we're back. So let's talk to Thancred again. He's wearing a grim expression. Ooh. First, we must inform everyone of the situation, Nirana's colleagues included. I'll call them together for a gathering, but I think it would be best if you were the one to explain. Awesome. Oh, Nidana. Can you answer me this? Though Nidana is trapped in the tower, she's still alive, yes? She is. Then we must make warding scales, as many as we can. The prototype works perfectly. This Nidana proved at peril to herself. So let us make more scales that she and all those who were taken might be saved. Aye, as alchemists, this is how we will help with win the fight. My friends, the satrap has been made aware of the tragedy. Sure he has. He offers his heartfelt condolences and reiterates his pledge to provide you with all that you require. To that end, he bade me give you this link pearl that he might personally discuss the production of the warding scales with you. And for our Eorzean visitors, I bear an invitation. In her report, Mistress Nidana noted your vital contributions to the talisman's creation. This fact came to the satrap's attention, and in recognition of your deeds, he wishes to meet you. Now? In addition to thanking you in person, he would also discuss further avenues of collaboration. And so, if it is agreeable, will you not accompany me to Ratzat Han for an audience with His Excellency? Sure. We should be honored, of course. Closer cooperation between our lands can only be to the benefit of all. Then it is settled. Please come to the gates east of the Giant Skull grounds, and I will show you into the city. I forgot we go into the city before, like, during the split. Okay. Do we get access to the Aetheryte right away, or is this gonna be Shadowbringers all over again? I don't remember. It's like the early Yulmore visit? Awesome. Okay. So, here we go. When last I visited, the city was brimming with life. I expect the tower has dampened the mood somewhat. Be it here or in Eorzea, all share in the desire to deliver the captives. Thus united, I pray that we may join in common cause with the satrap. Of the satrap, I only know the common tidbits. That though the position is hereditary, he is not considered a sovereign, and that, despite possessing considerable authority, he wields it sparingly. Given the esteem in which the locals hold him, however, it's safe to assume he's good at his job. We could do far worse for an ally. All present? Then let us proceed. Owing to the threat of the tower, the city is currently in a state of high alert, and strict restrictions are in place for entry. Though you have been granted special permission, I ask that you remain close to me at all times.
A vast rock squats upon Thavnair, and to its stony surface clings the city of Radz-at-Han. Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye. The orb which beholdeth the truth of all things. Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun. The fragrant haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet. Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets. But no such scenes to savor now. To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
Here we are, Megaduta. It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances, it would have been my pleasure to show you the sights.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, it seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
Yeah, we'll do it after we save the world. Everything's good.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside. Your Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Ah, splendid. Most splendid. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ahawan, Satrap of Radz-at-Han.
Our alchemists tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude.
But Nidana, she was taken.
A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nidana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
Ah, so sit on ceremony. Got it.
I think not. This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
Nay, he hath the right of it. The time for artifice is past. Raise the curtain.
As you wish.
It is kind of odd that this is the first time we encounter a dragon and he's speaking in, like, whatever the common tongue is, not, you know, the usual.
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me. Even here have we heard of the scions of the Seventh Dawn. I am Vritra, and for years uncounted hath this isle served as mine abode.
Okay. His horns have always bothered me because I always imagine them, like, growing just a little bit longer and curling just a little bit more, and then, oh, there goes his eye.
Vritra, of the first brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
Aye, mine elder brothers, of Midgard Sorma's spawn. I was last to hatch.
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Radzat Han had an alliance with a dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the satrap's own hall.
A necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively. In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive were the Aura. Adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured. Until marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility. When it seemed all would be drowned in blood, Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict. A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Radzat Han.
But if Vritra is still here, then your position as satrap is just...
A charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the great worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end. I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who join me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
Your eye. It was taken.
"'Tis here, buried within the semblance of flesh. The body before thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Razathan. With mine eye nestled within, it doth serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my will."
That would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
I am woven with wards fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered. Estinian warm blood.
Oof.
From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another, yet did neither one of us bare his fangs. That is all I need know of thee for now.
I mean, your sister could probably also vouch for him.
Thus revealed,
And your
I have for you
brother.
a proposal, not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Rats at Han. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
And thus denied strength in numbers, thou must choose thy soldiers with care.
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a surer path before me. Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down false gods in Pagalthan and Cartanau, I am told. 'Tis upon that strength I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear. Talismans would, of course, be provided for each of thy companions. And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales. I worry, however, that even the four of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling task that I have laid before you. Go, steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective charms.
It seems a quick trip back to Sharlayan is in order.
Quick.
Wilt thou not lend thine aid?
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Rads at Han, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
I am in thy debt.
Ah. I see. That we should encounter one of the first brood in such a circumstance. Yep. If our course of action is decided, let's not tarry. Terry, whatever. That meeting took a rather unexpected turn, but we now have a clear objective ahead of us. Let us rejoin our comrades in Sharlayan and muster a suitable crew for our foray into the Tower of Zot. Oh, and if you haven't already done so, be sure to attune to the Aetheryte here before departing. Unless, of course, you enjoy violent nausea. Aetheryte singular, he says, as if there aren't two. Yep, still can't go in. Still can't go in. This gate is so closed. Alright. Yep, back to Old Sharlayan we go. Let's see if we can make it to the other zone before the end of the stream tonight. Ooh, that was a little lag. Alright, here we go. Vertra and his alchemists have prepared us for our foray into the tower. What we may accomplish within its twisted halls remaineth to be seen. The Arcasodra languish in Telephorai chains doth forthwarn us of the nature of our foe. 'Tis the gods of Thavnair who will be summoned to thwart us. The conflict between Nidhogg and I is in the past, and though they were brothers, it has no bearing on my view of Vertra. Above all else, he is a leader of men, not an enemy. He will hardly dedicate his life to this, he would hardly dedicate his life to this endeavor if he bore our kind any ill will. Just as I was getting used to balmy Thavnair, we're back in chilly Sharlayan. Take care not to catch your death, eh? We need you for the battles to come. Now then, your investigation here remains, but when that's over, we can take stock of all of the developments and discoveries. I've returned by way of Kite's experimental aetherite, yet I must say it was far less taxing than our first attempt, and apparently we need only ask if we wish to use it again. Now, I'm not terribly eager to repeat the experience, but if you're willing to test your ethereal fortitude for the sake of technological advancement, then who am I to stop you? Everybody else is still saying the same thing. Alright. Hey, Kryl! Kryl is intent on uncovering the reason behind the forum's inexplicable behavior. Oh, that reminds me. I have coffers I need to open, huh? Just a coffer? I thought I had more than one. Oh, I guess it was just a coffer. Alright, 515 bracelet. That is an improvement. Alright. You guys won't have anything new to say. Okay. Hi, Kryl. Hitting the books. Kryl is intent on uncovering the reason behind the forum's inexplicable behavior. An unsettling change has come over Sharlayan, but together we will divine the underlying cause for the forum's callousness. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the counselors directly is a fruitless endeavor. They seem to have already come to a consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge, which is why I began scouring Sharlayan's archive of historical records for any hint of a connection to the final days. Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day. But now that I have this band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let us reconvene outside of Numenon, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the woods. Yeah, we're going to the library! Library! I add to the list of things I am slightly annoyed about. Like, with a couple of things where, like, Alphanos branch in Shadowbringers acts like you don't know what an Amuro is, even if you've been on one to go to see Alize first. Like, that stuff irks me a little, but this one so much more so feels like you were supposed to do one before the other, but for some reason they still gave you a choice. And I thought I'd had it reversed in terms of which one was which. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Numenon, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Numenon extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the Great Gubal Library pale in comparison to Numenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Or at the very least, like, with the Amuro thing in Shadowbringers, it should have been one of those things where the game could detect if you had done the other quest or not, like if your quest log had the completion, and then just have it set to give you that dialogue with whichever branch you did first. But at least, yeah, just set a flag. But at least with that, it didn't feel like the overarching plot was or your experience with it was affected between if you did, Alize's or Alphanos first. With this, it very much feels like the pacing, as much as I thought it was thrown off when I played it the first time, is even more thrown off because, like you said, well, Nidana's being held captive, but let's go help Kryl with her investigation first. And, like, at first I was like, okay, maybe they need time to make enough talismans for everybody who's going to go into the tower to save everyone. But that doesn't entirely feel like that's the case based off of some of the dialogue already in the game. Which just leaves me confused. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and pursue its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Y'shtola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alize and Alphino will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Yeah, like, I know people aren't super happy about Dawntrail, but I genuinely think it's better paced than Endwalker. I think, in terms of narrative structure, it is better written than Endwalker. And part of that is, it truly, like, it does what these quests are supposed to do, where, like, yeah, both branches build on the story, but it does not matter which one you do first. I just remember there being some very, like, story relevant, okay, because here's the thing. I remember there being some very dramatic scenes in the Sharlayan branch that I thought might feel better paced if I did Sharlayan second. I forgot Nidana gets kidnapped during the actual, like, branch part of it, and not when we return there later for the dungeon. I thought her getting kidnapped was after the two branches had, like, reconnected with each other. And I think that says a lot about how Shadowbringer, or how Endwalker is paced, that I was able to, like, misremember something like that, even though next to Dawntrail, this is the most, recent expansion to have come out, and there's stuff from older expansions that stuck with me way better. Meanwhile, Alize and Alphino will help me, I've dispatched Y'shtola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alize and Alphino will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor, here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which can touch upon Sharlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told you, or I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they've found some promising tomes. Happy reading. And like add that to the list of things that I would write, or that like make me think I could write it better. And also reinforces my belief that a lot of Endwalker is rushed, is that pacing wise, they probably should have done or handled the Thavnair section differently, so that it was when all of us Scions went to Thavnair a second time that Nidana got kidnapped. Maybe we came back here because they were still experimenting with the scales and they weren't ready for us to actually escort her yet. And then we all go back as a group and that whole scene happens. Yeah, that too. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm going to be really, really honest. There's a number of things in Endwalker where it feels like they were just copying Shadowbringer's homework, and badly, including, and you'll know what I'm talking about when I say this, including one of the side dungeons at level 90, which very much feels like it was trying to just copy a certain Shadowbringer's dungeon that had like meme status. The title on the spine reads, The Story of Sharlayan. Read the book? Yes. Also, oh god, I have so many thoughts and stuff, and like some of it really I can't talk too much about until it's time for me to write my my video essay, or at least until we get to a certain point in the story. Long, long ago, an island in the northern sea, or in an island in the northern, oh wait, bleh. Long, long ago, on an island in the northern sea, there lived a Rugadan man by the name of Nunkruf. Nunkruf was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. Yeah, it's called not rushing the expansion. Have this be, okay. Everybody, spoiler warning, because I'm about to talk about stuff that happens later in this expansion. Imagine this. Let me paint you a word picture. We have the split between Sharlayan and Thavnair. We go to Thavnair. They discover they need extra time to research some things after we help them discover something by them studying our echo. And in the meantime, we go back to Sharlayan, and we're able to do the Sharlayan side of things. We then return to Thavnair, all of us. They have completed their studies. They have their prototype ready. Maybe even Kryl got a link pearl or call or something from Nidana telling us such. And that is why we're all there. She tests it out, with us being the only one there. She gets captured. We run back. Uh-oh, she's been captured. We need to save her. Good thing they had a few extra prototypes with them that they give the rest of the Scions so that they can join us in the dungeon. We save Nidana, find the thing at the top of the tower. Ooh, this is a clue. There's a mystery we have to solve now. We wonder if something similar isn't happening in one of the provinces, or maybe we, for some other reason, have to go to one of the Garlean provinces. So we go, and there we encounter another body, or no, maybe we still go to Garlemald right after that. But we only do the first half. We only do up to like this stuff at Tertium, and maybe there's an actual proper wall around the city proper, and we can't enter it until we come back later in the expansion. Kind of treat it like Yansha in Stormblood. Then we have to go to like a province. We go to the province. Something happens. There's another tower. Ooh, we learn more about the culture of this particular place. Maybe it's Dalmasca even. I forgot the name of it, but the place that Graha is from. Or the place where Biggs and Wedge are from. I don't know. Just a province. Maybe it's Whirlit. Maybe we go to Whirlit and we go to, well, no, I want it to be a still Garlean-controlled place. But, you know, we go to a province. There's a tower. We go up the tower. We find another body part. So that's number 2. Maybe that body part is... Hang on, did I originally... My original plan was, oh yeah, and then we go to like another thing and maybe find a third body part. And with that third body part, we find a ring or some other marker that makes us at least think that it is a member of the royal family, or maybe even Varus himself. So we return to Garlemald to further investigate, and that's when we're able to enter the city proper and the rest of the Garlemald story happens. We fight in Tower of Babel, except maybe this time it's based off of Kefka's tower, as it should have been. We do a dungeon, and then we get a proper trial that is... And this would be like... the point of us going to 2 of the Garlean provinces was that the first primal was based off of what, like, the people in one of those cultures instead. Second trial, Anima. Boom, fight, find out what everything that's going on, chase people to the moon, go to moon, fight to try and slow them down, prevent them from getting to things. Things still happen, we still have to fight Zodiark, and then we fight Zodiark. Zodiark is defeated. Fandaniel does his thing. Oh no, we end the expansion, unlike in past expansions, on a grim note. The final days are coming. We don't know when, we don't know how, but the planet is no longer under Eorzean or Zodiark's protection. Cue the patch quests, where zone by zone, not just in the new expansion zones, but across the entire game world, the sky turns red each patch in a different area. Maybe they do it based off of proximity from Garlemald. Maybe they do it in order of expansion. I don't know. But every patch, the sky turns red in more places. And then 8 or 7.0 happens. It's time for us to stop the final days. Find out the cause. All of the stuff that happens after Moon in the actual Endwalker happens in 7.0 instead, with some additional stuff. And that is the Spark Notes version of how I would write it better. Anyway, Nyamkrep was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. No, I'm good with Zod, because the thing is, here's the thing. They advertised Endwalker as the end of the Hydaelyn Zodiark story arc. So I think Zodiark should have been the level, or the 6.0 last trial. Maybe they could have made Hydaelyn 6.3. Assuming she didn't just deplete herself, giving us power to defeat Zodiark when we were fighting him. But maybe she wanted us to defeat her so that we could return her ether to the land or something. Because I think doing it that way then better builds up to the final days situation for a 7.0, where the whole point of 7.0 was to stop the final days. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Nyamkrep's crew hauled them aboard his ark. But the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. Yeah, but my point is, like, they could have also just focused on it being the end of the Hydaelyn Zodiac arc, and then Zodiac arc, and then just actually gave us what they advertised. They're very bad about that sometimes. A lot of time. In terms of, like, how they promote the expansions. 6.3, like I said, 6.3 could be Hydaelyn. They could have kind of done what they did with Endwalker, where it was 5 patches of a story. But instead of it being the Void stuff, they could have made it a lead up to us trying to figure things out in Endwalker. Or figure things out in 7.0. But I think Hydaelyn probably would have been the smartest idea. With only moments to spare, Nyankrup wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire shift to safety atop Abolithia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Nyankrup gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers and abandoned the Ark to those reddened peaks. Oh, that's why it's in the peaks for random reasons. They journeyed to the coast, where they built a new ship, intent upon returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Sharlayan we live in today, or to this day. Very nice. I think the bigger question is, and I guess we could just say, oh yeah, it's not part of MSQ, it's a side quest thing, but like, what would the trials for, or outside of 6.3 be? The title on the spine reads, Roads of Old, the Colony. Read the book? Yes. Many years ago, on the banks of the Thaliak in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Sharlayan colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the ethereal sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlayan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idyllshire. The following chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Idyllshire. This book does not appear to contain additional information on the Forum, or cover the history of the Sharlayan motherland in greater detail. The title on the spine reads, The Voice of a Growing City. Read book? Yes. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however... Oh, right, the other thing I wanted to say is, like, if they saved 7.0, or if they saved ending the final days for 7.0, I think a certain thing that happens in Thavnair would have had more emotional impact. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the Forum as we know it today conceived and created. Oops, I forgot to read the title. An Introduction to the Heavens. Have you ever gazed at the skies above the and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It is the technologists of Alig who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamud and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has our interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past? That their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly, but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart, and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? The book is on the wrong subject. Search for words which contain details on the forum, or mention the history of Sharlayan. It does kind of lean into the crafting quest, though, which is cool. The title on the spine reads, Forever 20 Summers. Yeah, let's read it. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I, too, once engaged in such foolish practices. But one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. Thus do I share with you this mantra. I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19 or 23 or 40. Whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, will you extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research. Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths of you pursue. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, etherological, and arcane viewpoint. This book is on the wrong subject. Search for works which contain details on the forum or mention the history of Sharlayan. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of those YouTubers and like health and fitness, quote unquote, content creators where all of their advice is absolute bullshit. Stewards of Wisdom. I'm gonna check out whatever other books might be around here first because I don't want to miss any fun flavor text stuff. Oh, hello. You're even better than flavor text. I mean, you're still technically flavor text, but let's switch over to Summoner for this because I want the experience on Summoner. Look out. Numenon, the pride of the studium and parent institution to the Great Google Library. This massive collection of scrolls and tomes is the largest of its kind. Knowledge from every corner of the world is collected here, and efforts to compile the Bibliotheca Historica, the ultimate repository of wisdom, is an endeavor without end. All right, then I think that's the last book we can find. Let me explore the rest of the library, game, please. I want to explore book. I want book. Please let me explore book. Okay. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Youngcreft, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on the island of on an island in the Northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their savior and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of our agricultural came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth in coin. And the more their kingdom or wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. Not if you hoard your knowledge! And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founder's teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. You have gained a fundamental understanding of Sharlayan history and the foundation of the Forum. Head outside to the rendezvous point and wait your companions. Not every quest does this, so I appreciate the fact that, like, if you wanted to reread the quest to, like, get lore and, like, get the flavor text stuff that wasn't relevant to MSQ, you still have a chance. Sorry, were you waiting long? Nope. I wanted to make sure I'd borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Kryl should also be along shortly. I was delayed in similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mentioned the final days specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes. They're even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare, and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read, and a ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Sharlayan, we were not to be allowed across the threshold. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family? Or do they not live here in the city? Well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather further away. I'm gonna snooze this so I can finish this cutscene. In the southern reaches of Ilsabard, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the island of Thavnair. See, that would have been interesting. Go from Thavnair to Corvos. Have that be one of the... Man, I should be taking notes. Hang on. I actually need to take notes for this. I'm just gonna write that down. All right. In the southern reaches of Ilsabar, here we go, opposite the island of Thavnair, the Alligans founded a city in that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign. And when the Fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Allegan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Garlean rule? For the past 50 years, yes. Some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces. But Garlemald renamed the region Locus Amenos. I'm gonna go ahead and write that down. Corvos / Locus Amonis. Man, even them bringing it up in the cutscene makes it feel like it would be appropriate for that to be the other, or like one of the Garlean provinces we would go to in a Garlemald expansion like this. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allegan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allegan eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge of and traditions of Alleg. As the last child born with the Allegan eye, I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldesion, who had me registered as a Sharlayan citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me. It was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louisois, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans than you might think. Yet regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn. And with the sufficient, oh boy, what's that word? Perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. 'Tis exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation in which its citizens can be proud. Hear, hear. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the Forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Shizune. More company should be arriving any moment now. Is that the end of the cutscene? Is it? Yes. Okay, cool. I'm actually gonna have to wrap things up there for tonight because, it's Tuesday, which means tomorrow is Wednesday, which means it's chemo day for Luca, which means I have to be up at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. at the latest, to take Luca to chemo, so I can't like sleep in the way I normally do. So yeah. we will continue with this branch of Endwalker tomorrow, starting at 7:30 Central. In the meantime, if you haven't already, please hit that. First of all, thank you everybody for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please hit that follow button. Subscribe on Discord. Not subscribe on Discord. Oh my goodness. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on Twitch. If right now we're in the middle of the Endwalkathon. I should probably put a graphic on my screen at some point for that. But basically, for every sub I get, I will, or on Twitch, for every Twitch sub specifically that I get, I will walk a mile. Right now we're at 37 miles because people were very generous on Sunday. So if you want to add to my pain, you know what to do. If you want to join in on the pain, you're welcome to. Let's make a race out of it. Share your progress. Oh shit, the ads. Oh well, this buys me time to find somebody for us to raid once I finish my actual outro. Who's streaming right now? A lot of people are doing art because it's art fight. I bet that's why both of those are. Anyway. Let's see who's streaming Final Fantasy XIV right now. Oh. Oh, right. It's Tuesday, so everybody's doing their re-clears right now. Do we have any sprouts we can... I just want to sprout. Come on. Sprout post Endwalker. That doesn't help me. Oh, we have somebody working towards Endwalker, Stormblood. Perfect. Let me just scout this channel real quick. Okay, perfect. Found somebody for us to raid. Ugh. Hang on. Let's see if I can. We just got a bot in the chat. Fortunately, the auto mod caught it. But it's like, hey, do you want to approve this? And no, I don't. I want to report. Spam bot. Yep. Chat bot. Submit report, block user, ban, there we go. And deny. Cool. All right, welcome back, everybody. So yeah, the ad break happened in the middle of my outro. Sorry about that. But yeah, what was I talking about? The Endwalkathon. Every sub I get, I walk 1 mile. If you guys want to join in on that, you absolutely are invited to. We are a mutual self-care community, meaning when people, just like how when people redeem hydrations and stretches and stuff, I try to encourage people to do the hydration and stretches too, which means when people make me walk a mile, I'm going to encourage you guys to walk a mile with me. Let's even make a race about it. Post your progress in the Discord. Be sure to join the Discord in general, because that is where a lot of the awesome community stuff happens or gets organized. I set a sub goal for every month where if I'm at that number by the at the end of the month, then I do a thing voted for by the community. That sub goal right now is 100 subs, because it seems to be what's doable for the community. I'd love for it to be higher someday, but I have to be better about promoting myself. Kidnapping people into the community. I get that. Anyway, point being, sub goal is 100 subs at the end of July. The poll is currently up in the Discord for the next month, so if you want to get in on that voting, be sure to join the Discord and vote, vote, vote. And yeah, I think that covers everything. I'll be back on Tuesday. Oh, speaking of monthly sub goals, because I got to 100 subs in June, Sunday is actually not going to be Final Fantasy XIV. Sunday's stream, starting at 4:30 Central, will be Synth Riders. Because we actually got a little bit above the sub goal, I'm actually going to buy the DLC songs that I'm missing. This doesn't do too much, and I believe they're still on sale. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, so I'm going to probably get the DLC songs that I'm missing so that we can have some things be kind of fair in terms of multiplayer, because I think we may have some people getting the game just to be involved with the stream. I don't know. But multiplayer rooms in Synth Riders are, including the host, up to 10 people. So yeah, people are welcome to join in. We'll have a lot of fun. We'll see what happens. I usually play at like master difficulty. Granted, I might lower it a little bit because usually I play that high because I'm using it to work out, and I have no fail on because I don't care about the score. I just want to get my heart rate up and get sweaty. We'll see if what happens on Sunday. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna test out or check out the new songs. We're gonna play some old songs. Just a pantry dance party, basically. So yeah, but before then, more MSQ tomorrow. 8 o'clock Central on Friday will be Friday Night Writes, where I write. There's a Pomodoro timer. We all hang out. There's chill lo-fi music, and it's a good time. So yeah. In the meantime, I did use the ad break to find somebody for us to raid. So we are going to raid Luciana Lunes, I believe it's pronounced. She is also a VTuber, an Arctic Kitsune, and she's in Stormblood patch quest, it looks like. Funnily enough, she just met Asahi. Topical. So yeah, let's go give her a pantry raid. And until I see you guys again, I hope you have a good night, stay safe, stay healthy, and take care. Bye-bye. Oop, that's not the button I wanted. There we go.